Hello everybody and welcome to I actually don't know what I'm going to call this episode. Okay, regardless of that, let's just jump into what I'm doing. So, I saw this challenge a few weeks ago, maybe months. I lose track of time too much. But either way, it was a challenge where somebody took AI generated art, which the reference for this will pop up in only a moment, and they redesign it, or they use it as a reference of sorts, and turn the character that the AI has generated into an actual character of theirs, drawing them and creating a story for them. I thought that was super interesting, so I decided to try it out, and this is the result. I'd like to note really quickly, I found the art on Pinterest. There was a lot of AI generated art, and sometimes I even had to stop to check to see if it even was AI. There were many details that pointed to this piece of art being AI, which is why I used it for this challenge. I do actually plan on redesigning this character, as I kind of fell in love with the story I had created for him, and after drawing him and coming up with the story and looking back at the reference, I realized the personality I had given him didn't really fit what the AI had kind of portrayed him as. So I think I'll be redesigning him and kind of just taking the story I've given this character and giving it to another character. I do plan on keeping some of their resemblance, as this character has some tattoos that I actually put a lot of thought into, as the AI kind of just made them scribbles. You can now see the reference I'm using on screen. As you can tell just by looking at the character's neck, those are not shadows. I believe those were supposed to be some sort of tattoos, but I really don't know what they were, so I kind of just went with a flower design. Outside of the view from the reference that this gave you, he also had a bunch of tattoos on his arm, which is why I gave him the serpent, which was actually the only clear tattoo the AI had given him. I'm fairly sure the original drawing did have a serpent tattoo. But moving on to that, you may be wondering, what was the story I created for him? Well, his name is Azar, and he lives in a fantasy world. Azar grew up in a village ran by a tyrant, and soon left as quickly as possible, and essentially just left the whole village behind. He joined a group of bandits, which is where he got his tattoos. Although they're technically burns, not really tattoos, as that's a trend in the group that he had found, where each tattoo represents some important thing that they did or some memento. The dagger is most likely when he first joined. A serpent could be he bought a serpent. I don't actually have set in stone things that I want each one to mean, except for the eyes. The groups of eyes represent that he is always being watched, both good and bad. Another very key part of the world is their deities. I try to avoid saying gods because that tends to make certain people antsy, but that's really what they are. They play by their own rules for the most part, and I kind of want to make a separate video on the main deity of the story, but essentially he hates deities. This aforementioned tyrant happened to be a deity and had lived for thousands of years before he was even born, and he was just forced to endure a terrible situation. And luckily now, that tyrant has been overthrown. Like I said, the deities go by their own rules and can be overthrown. He was actually unaware of this when he stumbled back upon his old village, who was celebrating the death of their former deity and welcoming their new one. He didn't really expect to meet this new deity, and if he did, he pictured hating the guy. But they actually grew pretty close, and is what led into me falling in love with this story. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I plan on redesigning Azar, although keeping certain aspects. I kind of want to make his hair a bit more of a natural red color, I guess I should specify. Also, I'm now realizing I forgot to add his piercings. His ears are pierced, he has gauges, and I think, if I remember correctly, 3 rings. But yeah, I guess I forgot to add those. I'm not going back and adding them now, because that would be essentially pointless. But if y'all have any suggestions for tattoos, I would really appreciate them. His arms both feel bare, but also cluttered at the same time. So I'd like it to be something small. I think the dagger and serpent are good standout objects for his character, but I would love to hear you guys' suggestions. I also do plan on releasing more videos about the story I've created for him and that aforementioned deity that he meets, not the one he hates. Although I guess I could write stuff about that one too. I don't exactly know where I'll be posting that. When I inevitably figure out where to post them, I'll let you all know. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed, and to see y'all next time.